Hi, today we're going to build a deep water hydroponic system. It's for a small space, 2 feet by 4 feet, that will allow you to put 32 plants in that tiny space. Let me frontify your life. Let's get started. So this is the horizontal trellis with 8 5-gallon buckets with 4 plants in each one. Takes up a total of 8 square feet. It's 2 feet by 4 feet. And if you notice, the buckets are dark. They're opaque. They're not transparent. You don't want any light to get through to the water. So what we need is 5-gallon buckets. You want them to be opaque. No, you don't want light to shine through them because it'll cause the water to get algae. So dark blue, black, those type of buckets. Bucket with the lid costs you about $7. I have here the little 3-inch cups that will sit down into the hole and for the plants. There'll be 4 per bucket. Dynagrow, so Dynagrow Foliage Pro 936. It'll do very well in hydroponics. It won't foam up. So you use something that is for hydroponics, and this works very well. I've got an air pump. This is Active Aqua's products. This is actually a 2-port pump. I'm going to be using an 8-port pump. 2 of them actually, to 4 per, and 2 ports per bucket. So the calculation is you need about 16 gallons per hour of airflow for the hydroponics. So you end up with about 4.5 gallons of water, so about 72 gallons per hour. So how the ports are calculated is that it's the total output for all of the ports. So a 400 gallon per hour air pump with 8 ports would give you 50 gallons per port. So you would generally need 2 ports per bucket. I like using the 2 ports per bucket because then you can dial it back to 75% of the operating power because it does have a variable speed. You're not running at 100% all the time. You're going to need, these are little seed podling wool. This is rock wool. I usually use this. Start your seeds in here and then you pop this into the bucket. 3-inch bucket with some clay pebbles, which I have some here. I also bought some extra tubing so I can make the tubes longer from the air pump to the buckets. And this is a set of 1/4-inch T-couplers. And the tubing, you put the tubing in here and for the 2 ports and then come out of one. Okay. These are hard to find, but in the tubing area, like at a Lowe's or something like that, you'll find them. It's in the hardware section, the plumbing section, you'll find it. Don't ask, because they'll tell you they don't know what you mean or they don't have them, but they do. Also air stones. So these are Aquanet Airstone. They're pretty big, as you can see. They're about, these are 3-inch, I believe. You can get 4-inch, 5-inch, but you need a nice size Airstone. You need a pH kit. So the majority of plants will grow at about 6.0 pH. So you can really combine a lot of plants together at 6.0 pH. So that's what I like, looking for plants that'll work well together. You can do tomatoes and basil and peppers, for example, together in one pot. Or you can change the pH levels around a little bit. I have a list of what the pH levels are. And you can put similar plants together. I like to put taller plants with shorter plants because they're very close together. So maybe two lettuce and a peppers and a tomato, for example, in the pot. Okay, now it's time for us to lay out the holes in our lid. So we're going to we want 4 holes, so we're just going to basically make an X. So you can see the lid here, and you can see there's the center hole, which we'll have to drill a hole for the hose. And we'll just make a cross straight through. I'm going to use a level to do it, so I'll just go right here. And I can actually use the lines on my table to kind of follow it. Make sure that I'm level. I am. So we'll draw the line here. And now I'll just turn it vertical. Doesn't have to be 100%, but we definitely want to get it close, right? And go through that center line again. And you can see that I have an X, okay? Now, from the hole to the end here, the hole to the end is 6 inches. So I'm going to mark it at 3 inch, which is my center point, and that's going to be where where we'll drill the hole for the cup. So we'll just come in 3 inches. Mark it. Okay, so you can see where I have the markings. I've gone ahead and put on my eye protection, snap the lid on, and we're going to drill right in those little crosshairs. One. 2. 3. 4 of them. And you can see these will fit right down in. We'll need to drill a hole in the middle here, big enough for the tube to go through for our air stone. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to hook up the pump. So I have this active aqua pump. Okay, this is a 8 liters per minute, which is equivalent to about 100 gallons per hour. And I've got my T, so I've cut 2 small pieces of hose. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the T side. Now, I'm going to put a bigger pump for all 8 of them because I only need 2 pumps than 2 8-port pumps. But in this case, this will be for 1 bucket. If you only want to grow 1 or you want to try it initially, that's all you need. So I have this, and you see the 2 ports. So I'll put 1 here. Because remember, it's the total output of the pump. This pump's 100 gallons per hour, so that's 50 gallons per port. So we put the hose on, like so. And then we take this length of hose that I made that is long enough for me to get from the pump to the bucket. Put it on. And then take your air stone. So you see I've got my 4 holes, and I've drilled a hole here through the middle, which is where the hose will thread through. Okay. You can see. And then the air stone, slap that on. So the air stone will sit down on the bottom. The buckles go in. And there you have it. With the air stone inside. You plug this in, fill this up to about 2 inches from the top, 1.5 inches from the top, and you have your hydroponic garden going. Now, again, follow the instructions for this for 4.5 gallons of water, and then we can put our plants. Let me show you a couple. I have here yellow peppers. I just cut a pepper that I like the shape of, took the seed out. I put the seed inside a piece of this rock wool, ROCKWOOL. Just see this little thing here for a hole. Drop the seed in there, keep it moist. Once it sprouts, basically you're going to put it into here. Put the clay pebbles around it, and you can see, let me spread these out, you can see the clay pebbles, and there's rock wool inside of there. You'll drop it into your hydroponic pot, and it'll grow. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, remember, push on that thumbs up, hit that like button, and attached to the video you'll see a download of pH levels for the water. That reminds me, as far as the pH is concerned, you'll need a pH kit, and move that, like I said, mostly to about 6 is ideal. When you change the pH of the water, you need very, very little, just a few drops. So I would go like 2 or 3 drops at a time with one of those little pipette tubes. You can buy those, and just like a little dropper, and just drop it in, because it'll go one way or the other very, very quickly. Okay, thank you. Bye.